Hi guys, welcome to Get a Better Life TV. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching me from. So I just changed my live stream software. So I want to see if this is gonna work better. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching me from. If you are new to this channel, kindly click on the red subscribe button down below to subscribe free of charge so that you don't miss anything on this channel. So guys, I could not live stream with you yesterday. I could not live stream with you because of one reason or the other. The software that I was using, what it was expired, so I had to figure out another way to live stream with you. So I hope you can hear me loud and clear. This is a new software that I'm using now to live stream with you. So I'm just testing it out if it's going to work better. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching me from. Leo Briggs, thank you. I won't be able to bring your comment on the screen, I think, and I'd like to do that. So the StreamYard that I was using, I was actually using the free plan, So the hours I was given got expired, so I had to pay. I just have to pay. So that was why I just changed to another software. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching me from. This is another Get a Better Life TV live stream. So wherever you are watching me from, I greet you all. So as usual, I could not live stream with you yesterday as I used to do, as I do every day. So, but the reason is exactly what I just told you. So the software that I was using got expired, so I was actually using a free plan. So I had to figure out another way to live stream with you. So as you can see, without wasting much of your time, as you can see, the topic that we have today is all about Olodumare, Olodumare. So some of you must have been hearing about Olodumare. So tonight, you are going to know who exactly Olodumare is according to our belief in Yoruba religion, and according to our belief in Yoruba land. And I do say that our ancestors knew God before the advent of any foreign religions in our land. So, of course, simply as you all know that Olodumare means God, that is the meaning according to how we know him to be, But there are other things that you need to know about Olodumare, which, of course, I will be sharing with you tonight. So, wherever you're watching me from, I greet you and I thank you for watching my videos. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I welcome you all to Get a Better Life TV. This is where I talk about African culture, traditions, and religion. I am a Yoruba man, and of course, I represent the rest of my fellow Africans who are lovers of our traditional religion in Africa. Thank you very much, wherever you're watching me from. Mr. Johnson Toby, if I be wow, I share. So, time presently now in Nigeria is 11:11 p.m. 11:11 p.m. So I greet you all, and I say to you that you should always be proud of your culture, you should be proud of your traditions, and you should be proud of your religion as Africans. So we should love ourselves, and we should always be proud of our heritage. So according to what I told you last time, that I will be praying, at the beginning of my live stream with you, so we can always share the blessing of. I mean, we can always share from the blessing of our orishas. So it's good to do iwure. So I will be sharing a short iwure with you. So I pray in the name of Olodumare that as I'm about to start. For those of you who will be watching this video, I pray in the name of Olodumare, and I connect you with all our orishas in the Yoruba religion and all our Igba Irumole. And I pray that may you all receive blessings from all our orishas and all our Irumoles. And I pray that may Olodumare continue to protect you all. May Olodumare continue to honor your request, and may Olodumare continue to show his love and care for you all. And for those of you who offer sacrifice to our orishas, I pray that may our sacrifice be granted, and may we receive a lot of blessings from our orishas. Ashe wa. So guys, tonight, the topic tonight is who is Olodumare according to Yoruba religion and the people of Yoruba, the people of Yoruba. So who is Olodumare? Simply, Olodumare is God. As you know, Olodumare is God. But there are other things to know about Olodumare. So sit back and relax as I share with you what you need to know about Olodumare. So guys, who is Olodumare? As usual, I have a reference with me. I have an ancient book here, which of course I like to use to share some insights with you about our orishas. Of course, Olodumare is our creator. Of course, is our all in all. Is we call him Orisha Nla. He is the greatest of all orishas, and of course, he is our creator. Even though he gives a portion of his power to our orisha, but Olodumare still remains the Almighty. The Almighty. So let's get started. So I will be translating. So for some of you who have been watching my videos, my live stream, you know how I do it. So I will be talking to you from this book, and as well I will be translating. So let's get started. So now, àwọn onímọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ nínú ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀sìn Kristẹni a máa wí pé kí májẹ̀mú ó tó dé ni májẹ̀mú ti wà. This book is making reference to the Christianity belief according to their holy book, which says that àwọn onímọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀, that the movers and shakers of Christianity religions, people who are knowledgeable in that faith, they do say that. And of course, this book is making reference to what the Bible says, that nínú ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀sìn Kristẹni a máa wí pé kí májẹ̀mú ó tó dé ni májẹ̀mú ti wà. That is, before, májẹ̀mú is, I think, májẹ̀mú is a covenant, covenant or something, májẹ̀mú, that is a promise, I can simply say promise, májẹ̀mú, that is something that has been said, that it has ever been, since the beginning of this world. So kí májẹ̀mú tó dé ni májẹ̀mú ti wà. Èyí já sí pé májẹ̀mú tí a kọ sílẹ̀ ti wà kí èyí tí a kò kọ sílẹ̀ tó dé. According to our belief as Yorubas, we believe that when God created this world, this earth, of course, nothing was written down, but for the fact that nothing was written down, there were rules and regulations, which of course Olodumare created for humanity, on how to live our lives. So this is exactly what májẹ̀mú means. That is what has been written down. So because before all of these things were written down, God had already done. He had already done his plans. He has already done his roadmap on how this world will start and how we'll continue living on this earth. So that is a preamble, and that is a what this book is trying to share with you, that before God created us, he had already done his own work. He has done everything perfectly before he created us. Okay, so that is exactly what we believe. But the advent that we have now is that things are now written down. But before the advent of writing, before the advent of, okay, I think there is a problem. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth. Okay, I think you guys can hear me clearly. I share. May God bless you and yours. Much love and respect from London, England. Thank you, Leo Briggs. So, I think my network just did somehow. I think you can hear me. This is a new live stream or software for me. I don't know if I'm doing it better. So, guys, let me continue. So, that's the preamble. So, now, a lè fi èrò àwọn Yorùbá nípa Olódùmarè wé ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn onímọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ nínú ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀sìn Kìrìsìtẹ́nì yìí. So this book is trying to tell us that the way we Yorubas understand God, Olodumare, is exactly it's almost the same with what Christianity know about God, and which is, of course, about before God created everything. Before God created what we have today, he had already planned everything before his creation. And before, what we call books today, God had already, he did his plan perfectly before he created anything. So, according to our Yoruba belief, we believe that Olodumare had already done all his own work before he created us. And that's exactly what this book is saying. So for some of you who understand Yoruba perfectly, this book says that a lè fi èrò àwọn Yorùbá nípa Olódùmarè wé èrò àwọn onímọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ nínú ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀sìn Kìrìsìtẹ́nì yìí. And what is ẹ̀kọ́ Kìrìsìtẹ́nì yìí? For those of you who understand Yoruba, it is májẹ̀mú tí a kọ sílẹ̀ ti wà kí èyí tí a kò kọ sílẹ̀ tó dé. Before anything, before we have what we call books, what we call holy books today, God had already planned everything before we have everything in our book that we are read today. So let's continue. Kí ọ̀làjú àti ẹ̀sìn ìgbàgbọ́ tó mú ọ̀rọ̀ tí à ń lò ní lọ́lọ́ yìí Ọlọ́run wà. Sorry, let me take that again. Kí ìlàjú, that is ọ̀làjú, kí ọ̀làjú àti ẹ̀sìn ìgbàgbọ́ tó mú ọ̀rọ̀ tí à ń lò, that is this ọ̀rọ̀, that is what we are talking about, ní lọ́lọ́ yìí Ọlọ́run wà ní àwọn Yorùbá tí ń lo ọ̀rọ̀ bíi Olódùmarè. This is exactly what you guys know about. You know that before the advent of this Abrahamic religions, we Yorubas, we knew God and we knew the concept of God and Olodumare. That's exactly what this book is saying. But unfortunately, this book, the Yoruba text here is an ancient Yoruba language, of course. So I'm trying my best to read perfectly for you guys to understand. So I can take that again for those of you who are Yorubas, so you can get along with me. So, but those of you that are not Yorubas, of course, I'm trying my best to translate perfectly so that you can understand. So, kí ìlàjú, this book says ìlàjú, but it's ọ̀làjú àti ẹ̀sìn ìgbàgbọ́. Ẹ̀sìn ìgbàgbọ́, this book says kí ọ̀làjú àti ẹ̀sìn ìgbàgbọ́, before civilization and before Christianity. That's exactly what kí ìlàjú àti ẹ̀sìn ìgbàgbọ́ tó mú ọ̀rọ̀ tí à ń lò nípa Ọlọ́run. That is exactly what this book is saying. That is our view towards God, before civilization and before Christianity came. That is what we know about God, that wà ní àwọn Yorùbá tí ń lo ọ̀rọ̀ bíi Olódùmarè. That is before the advent of civilization, before the advent of Christianity in our land. We Yorubas, we have been using the word Olodumare, and we know that there is a supreme being somewhere called Olodumare, and we also call him other names, according to this book, which are we are àti ń lo ọ̀rọ̀ bí Olódùmarè. That's exactly what this book is saying. Àti ń lo ọ̀rọ̀ bí Olódùmarè, ẹlẹ́dàá, ọba ọ̀run, ọ̀gá ògo, alábàáláṣẹ, atẹ́yẹrẹ kárí ayé, ọba rínúróde, ọba olùmọ̀ ọkàn, aláwílèṣe, ọba adákẹ́dájọ́, òyígíyigì, ọba èrí, ọba àwámárìdí, àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. You can understand what I'm talking about for those of you who are Yorubas. This book, let me just put in a summary, the preamble of this book, let me put in summary. This book is telling us that it's making reference to what Christians do say today, that ní àtètèkọ́ṣe ni májẹ̀mú ti wà. That is, before God created anything, he had already done his plan. He did his plan before he created us as humans. And this book goes further to say that before the advent of civilization and Christianity into our land, we Yorubas, we have names for God. And this book goes further to call the names of the names that we do call God. The most important one, the most popular one among these names, of course, is Olodumare. So we have what is called Olodumare. So that is number one on this book. This book, Olodumare, that is Olodumare. Then Eleda means the one who created our destiny. That is the literally meaning of Eleda. Then Oba Orun. So before the advent of civilization, before the advent of Christianity in our land, so we have names for God. And these are, and they are Olodumare, Eleda. Eleda means the one who created our destiny. Then Oba Orun. Oba Orun means the king in heaven. Our king, the king in heaven. Oba means king. Then Orun means heaven. So that means we know that there is a king up there, who is called Oba Orun. So we know that we have kings in our midst. So, but the kings in our midst are Obaye. So we can call the kings in our midst Obaye. And the one in heaven is called Oba Orun. Oba Orun. Okay? So, and then we have Oga Ogo. Oga Ogo, of course, Oga Ogo is our language, and is a name that our ancestors is part of the names that our ancestors used to call God. Okay, so Oga Ogo, that is Oga. Oga means boss. Ogo, that is when you say Ogo, that is Ogo is something like Oga Ogo. Ogo is a praise. Oga Ogo, Oga Ogo, that is a boss that is worthy to be praised. We know God to be that. So then Alaba Lashe. Alaba means, when you Aba is you he plans and he executes. Aba is you are trying to do something. You have a thought, and as well you have the ability to carry out your thought. So that is Alaba. He decides on something and he executes it, and that's Alaba Lashe. The Atere Kariaye and the Atere Kaye. That is, we know God to be a God of that we know him to be everywhere. Atere Kariaye. So we call him Atere Kaye. He is everywhere. He is everywhere. As you can see, before the advent of civilization, before the advent of Christianity in our land, we know what God is. So I'm trying to check your comment. Let me see if something is coming up. Okay. Thank you. Please let us not call Olodumare God. They are not the same. Somewhere Akiyemi there, who is God? You can test it if you know who God is. God is Olodumare. So if you have another name, Olodu Titan, okay, maybe that is your own opinion. So you cannot say God is not Olodumare. You have a diverse belief. So we have a book here, a reference here, and of course we call our God Olodumare. So if you have any other opinion, you can put in the comments. So I'll come back to check it. So I'm just switching. I'm switching from my software. I'm back to YouTube where I'm reading your comment. So God is Olodumare. So we call God Olodumare, we call God Olorun, we call God Oluwa, and that's exactly what this book is telling you, that we have names that we call our God. We call him Olodumare. Then if you are watching, the guy that just commented, this book is as old as, is older than you, it's older than you, and this book explains nearly all our popular orishas. This book is an Isheshe book. This book teaches so many things about our Isheshe. So you cannot be wiser than this book, and of course, this book is older than you. Okay, so God is Olodumare. God is Olodumare. So let's continue. Okay, hold that to yourself. If you do not believe, you can hold it to yourself. Olumide Davis. You can hold that to yourself. Don't distract my people here, please. God is Olodumare. We call God Olodumare. So if you have other name that you call your God, you can tell your own people. Okay. So Atere Kariaye, that is everywhere. So we know that there is a supreme being that can be everywhere. So that is the meaning of Atere Kariaye. Then Oba Arinurode. Oba Arinurode. Arinurode means that he sees our heart, and he knows what we think. He knows our thought, and he knows the one that our thought and the ones that we execute. Okay, so Arinurode, Inu means inside, Ode means outside. That is Oba Arinurode, the one who knows the one you are thinking in your mind, and he knows the one you are saying, you are speaking out. So Arinurode. Then we call him as well Oba Olumorokan. That is the king who knows what is inside you, who knows what you are thinking in your mind. So he's a king who knows what you are thinking in your mind. Then Alewi Leshe, we know him to be a God who can say and do, because some of us can make a promise that I'm going to check you tomorrow. I'm going to call you tomorrow, but because of one thing or the other, you won't be able to call. So we know God to be Alewileshe. This is how we know Olorun, God. So Alewileshe, he can say and he will fulfill his promise. Then Oba Adakedajo. Adakedajo means that a God who is very quiet, and as he's quiet, he will do whatever he wants to do. Adakedajo, it can be quiet, but at the same time act. Okay, so that is Adakedajo. Adakedajo, it can be quiet and decide. Then Oyigi is a very strong Yoruba vocabulary, but is another word that we can use to call our God in Yoruba land. And this is exactly how our ancestors knew Olodumare. Oyigi. We used to use that. In fact, that is exactly what even the Yoruba Religion, especially Christians, are using to sing now. Oyigi. So they are making use of that. So they are making use of that particular word to qualify their God. And this name is from our Yoruba religion. So Oyigi. Then Oba Airi, that is, nobody can see him. No one can see him. Oba Airi. So do not mind those that are saying that God spoke to them. God spoke to them. So do not mind them, because God is a God that you cannot see. Nobody can see God. Okay? Then Oba Awamaridi. Awamaridi, that means that you cannot understand God. You cannot investigate and know who he is. Okay? So you can see that according to this book, before the advent of civilization and before the advent of Christianity in our land, this is how our ancestors knew God. This is how our ancestors knew God. So we call him Awamaridi. Awamaridi means there is no amount of research you can do to understand him or to know who he is. Okay, so Awamaridi, that you keep on checking or looking for him, but you cannot understand his source. Okay, and this book says that Atibe Belo, and so on and so forth. So For those of you who are just coming, and the guy that is commenting that we should not call God, that we should not call God Olodumare, of course, you can do your research. This book is telling you that before the advent of Christianity, before the advent of civilization, that our ancestors had a way, had names for God, and of course, this book says be Olodumare, Ẹlẹ́dà, Ọba Ọ̀run, Ọ̀gá Ògo, Alábà, Láṣẹ, Atẹ́rẹ kárí ayé, Ọba Rínúróde, Ọba Olùmọ̀ ọkàn, Alèwí lè ṣe, Ọba Dákẹ́dájọ́, Òyígíyigì, Ọba Àìrí, Ọba Àwámárìdí, àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. So, if you say that Olodumare is not God, then who is Olodumare? Olodumare is God. Okay? Olodumare is God. Mr. Is it Olumide Davis? So let me check the comment before I continue, because I have to switch from my live stream software back to YouTube. Olodumare is not God. Samuel, thank you, Olumide. Okay. Stop saying what you don't know. God is Olodumare. Let me stop saying what you don't know. God, of course, God is Olodumare now. If you put them comparatively, they are not the same. Forget that. Does Olodumare have a son called Jesus? Olodumare is the Yoruba name that Yoruba calls God. Of course. Oluwa, Lord, God, Olorun, Olodumare, God Almighty, Olodumare are all names I call to Olodumare. Thank you very much. So, this Samuel Akinyemi, please do not distract people here. I mean, who is the guy that is saying Olodumare is not God? Olumide Davis. Olodumare is God. Go and do your research. So whoever is deceiving you, of course, we say that our Oduifa, the word Oduifa comes, that is the owner of all the Oduifa. So if that is the angle you want to look at it, you can as well call God Olodumare, because he has all the Odu. He is the creator of the Odu. So Olodumare, Odu, all our Oduifa. So he owns all the Odu. Okay, so, and I'm telling you that if you have not seen this book before, you can message me if you need a copy. You can message me. I'm telling you that this is an ancient book that people who study Yoruba religion in the university, this is one of the books they use. Especially all those people who study Yoruba, this is one of the books they use. So you cannot say that you are wiser than this book. Okay, so let's continue. That is a preamble of who God is. That's a preamble of who God is. So let's continue. So bí a bá sì gbọ́ tí àwọn Yorùbá bá sọ pé, that is when you hear Yoruba people saying this, what is that? Bí a bá sì gbọ́ tí àwọn Yorùbá sọ pé orí mi o tàbí ọlọ́jọ́ òní o. That is when Yoruba people say orí mi o tàbí ọlọ́jọ́ òní o. Olódùmarè ni wọ́n ń pè ní orí. Olódùmarè ni wọ́n ń pè ní orí, èyí tí ó dúró fún ẹlẹ́dàá, orí àti ọlọ́jọ́ òní. Èyí tí ó dúró fún ẹni tí ó ní ọjọ́ òní. You can see that when you hear when Yoruba people, because this book is making reference to how we were in the past, not how we are now, because there are so many information out there that are not verified. And of course, even the Abrahamic religions depend so much on what they have written down 2,000 years back or before 2,000 years back. So they depend on what they wrote down. Okay, they depend on what they wrote down. Then for us to have a book that has been written for close to, if not 100 years, it's a plus to us to have a book like this, because this is an ancient book that explains the concept of our Yoruba religion. This book has close to, I think, if not 15 orishas. This book explains about 15 orishas, and as well other stuff that you need to know as far as Yoruba religion is concerned. Okay, so this, I can call this book a manuscript. If you want to do any research, or if you want to make reference to any old book, you can come and check this book, then come up with an idea that has been written down a long time a long time ago. Okay, so I so much trust this book, even more than, like, now if you go if you check Amazon now, you see foreigners writing books for Yoruba people, and they have done they did their research, and they were able to write something down, and people are buying and they are reading. But this book is our own book, written in Yoruba, very ancient Yoruba language, is what they use here. So please, that's the reason why I'm showing you this book. I can do my research and write them out and be telling you that, oh, this is how it is. But I want you guys to trust the information that is coming out from here. That is why I'm showing you my source. That's why I'm showing you my source for you to see. Okay, so Olodumare is God. Please, thank you very much. Now, as I was saying, bí a bá sì gbọ́ tí àwọn Yorùbá bá sọ pé orí mi o tàbí ọlọ́jọ́ òní o, Olódùmarè ni wọ́n ń pè ní orí, èyí tí ó dúró fún ẹlẹ́dàá. You know, when you hear Yoruba people, this book is saying that when you hear Yoruba people calling my head, orí mi o, my head, orí mi o, tàbí ọlọ́jọ́ òní o, that is the one who owns today, that is the owner of today. You know, Olodumare ni wọ́n ń pè ní orí, that we call Olodumare head. That means our ẹlẹ́dàá, because when you say ẹlẹ́dàá, we call our head ẹlẹ́dàá, of course. So when we say ẹlẹ́dàá, we are referring to our head. Okay, so Olodumare ni wọ́n ń pè ní orí, èyí tí ó dúró fún ẹlẹ́dàá. So we call Olodumare head, which of course is what we call ẹlẹ́dàá. And for some of us in Yoruba land, even before some of us who pray today, even in all these Yoruba religion places of worship, they will say ẹlẹ́dàá mi, ẹlẹ́dàá mi, ẹlẹ́dàá mi gbà mí, ẹlẹ́dàá mi gbà mí. Some people pray like that up to today, because they are saying that my creator, that the creator of my head, please save me. Okay, so that is the meaning. That is the meaning of ẹlẹ́dàá mi. And this book is telling you that Olódùmarè ni wọ́n pè ní orí, èyí tí ó dúró fún ẹlẹ́dàá. Okay, so let's continue. So now let's continue. Orí èyí tí ó dúró fún ẹlẹ́dàá, orí àti ọlọ́jọ́ òní. So I've said that ọlọ́jọ́ òní means the owner of today. Èyí tí ó dúró fún ẹni tí ó ní ọjọ́ òní, that I've told you that. So the meaning of ọlọ́jọ́ òní means the owner of today. Tàbí nígbà mìíràn, bí àwọn Yorùbá bá rí ohun tí ó yani lẹ́nu, wọ́n á ní bàbá o, èyí tí ó dúró fún Olódùmarè. So I don't know where this man that is distracting people got his own knowledge. So we know God to be Olodumare, and we have different names, so many names for Olodumare, which I've already shared with you. So of course, we do say, some Yoruba people will say Babao, and this book is telling you that èrò àwọn Yorùbá nípa Elédùmarè. This book is not talking about Christianity, and it's not talking about Islam. It's telling you that the way we Yoruba knew God before the advent of civilization and before the advent of any Abrahamic religions in our land. That's exactly this book is explaining to you. Okay, so that's exactly what this book is explaining to you. So when we say Baba, we call God even Baba. We call God Baba. So fine, these Abrahamic religion people call Father. They say Father to represent their God. But we have that understanding. We had the understanding before the advent of these Abrahamic religions in our land, especially Christianity. You know, we know God to be Baba as well. So Baba. Okay, so let's continue. Ǹjẹ́ kí ni ìdí rẹ̀ tí àwọn Yorùbá fi ń lo oríṣiríṣi orúkọ wọ̀nyí fún Olódùmarè? You know, this book is now asking you a question that why is it that Olodumare is using all these names to represent God? Why is it that we Yoruba people call God different names? You know, let me take that again for those of you who understand Yoruba. Ǹjẹ́ kí ni ìdí rẹ̀ tí àwọn Yorùbá fi ń lo oríṣiríṣi orúkọ wọ̀nyí fún Olódùmarè? Then that means ǹjẹ́ kí ni why? Ǹjẹ́ kí ni why? Àwọn Yorùbá, why Yoruba people use, you know, that is fi ń lo oríṣiríṣi, use different names to represent Olodumare, to represent God? Question mark. Now let's check it out. Bí a bá Bí a bá ka májẹ̀mú, this book is still going back to make reference to Christianity, to make reference to this Christianity belief. It say bí a bá ka májẹ̀mú tí láyéláyé làákàyè, a ó rí i pé àwọn ọmọ Hébérù pàápàá kò dá láṣà láti máa pe orúkọ Ọlọ́run wọn. Kò dá láṣà láti máa pe orúkọ Ọlọ́run wọn. You can see there is what is called comparative religious studies. People, there are people who are studying that in the university, comparative religious studies. So this book is trying to compare the understanding of Yoruba people even before the advent of Christianity in our land. So this book is comparing it, that even though if you check the other religion, this is how they have different names for their God, right? And that is exactly what this book is saying, that ǹjẹ́ kí ni ìdí tí àwọn Yorùbá fi ń lo oríṣiríṣi orúkọ fún Olódùmarè. Bí a bá ka májẹ̀mú ti láyé, a ó rí i pé ọmọ Hébérù pàápàá kò dá láṣà láti máa pe orúkọ Ọlọ́run wọn. You can see wọ́n gbà wípé Ọlọ́run tóbi ju gbogbo ẹ̀dá lọ, of course. So they believe that this book is making reference that the Hebrew believe that God is bigger than everybody. God is bigger than everybody, and that's why they call him different names. So this is a comparative studies of who we are as Yoruba people and other religions. Okay, so we have our own concept before these people came to our land, and the concept is exactly what this book is explaining. And of course, while explaining, it elaborates how we understand God even before the advent of these Abrahamic religions. So ó sì jẹ́ wọ́n gbà wípé Ọlọ́run tóbi ju gbogbo ẹ̀dá lọ. Ó sì jẹ́ ẹni tí wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ máa bọlá fún, àti nítorí náà wọ́n wá orúkọ mìíràn. You can see tí wọ́n ń lò dípò orúkọ rẹ̀ gan. They know that this is who God is. They know God to be God as a name, but because of the way he is, you cannot explain God in one word. So they have to get so many names to explain him. Okay, so that is exactly that's the concept that we have in Yoruba land as well. So as Yorubas, we know that this God is so big that we cannot explain him enough. So we have to give different names, and those are the names that I just explained to you. And I said, number 1, Olodumare, Ẹlẹ́dàá, Ọba Ọ̀run, Ọ̀gá Ògo, Alábàáláṣẹ, Atẹ́rẹkáríayé, Ọba Arínúróde, Ọba Olùmọ̀ọ́kàn, Alèwílèṣe, Ọba Adákẹ́dájọ́, Òyígíyigì, Ọba Àìrí, Ọba Àwámárìdí, àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. So this book is explaining to us that why is it that Yoruba people are giving so much names to God this way, and it now make reference to another religion which of course has so many names for their God, because they know that calling God only one name cannot be enough. Okay, that is why they have to look for other names to call God, right? And that is exactly what this book is saying, that not only Yoruba people give different names to God. Of course, there are other faiths. There are other faiths. Oh, Candy Bliss Beauty, thank you very much. Candy Bliss Beauty, thank you very much. Okay, so that is it. So that is the reason why we have different names for God, and we are comparing ourselves with other religions. Not only Yoruba people who are giving different names to God, and this book is trying to explain to you. So we know that we cannot give God just only one name, so we have to look for other names to give God. And this is exactly how we were in the past before these advanced religions came. And of course, they are doing a lot of harm to our understanding of who God is, because they've confused us. They've used their own faith to distract our people from connecting to their own ancestral path. Okay, because of course, if you want to talk to your God gave you your own language. God gave you your own traditions and culture. so that you can know how to talk to him and you can know how to relate with him. Talk of our dressing. We've left our dressing. If anyone, if you see any Yoruba man dressed like dresses like a pure Yoruba person, maybe wear dansiki now, people will be looking at the person like something else, like Olorisha or something. So they came, they now, confuse our people to the extent that it's difficult for us as Yorubas to understand even our own tradition and our religion. Okay, so let's continue. So we look for names because we cannot represent God with just one name. So èyí tí ó ṣe pàtàkì jùlọ nínú orúkọ tí wọ́n ń lò dípò Ọlọ́run ni Yahweh. You can see this book this is a very good comparative study of Yoruba Yoruba religion and Christianity. So this book says that they call their God Yahweh. That is the most important names they call their God is Yahweh. The same way in Yoruba land, the most important name that we call our God is Olodumare. Okay, so but the reason why we give so many names to Olodumare is because we cannot use only one word, only one name to qualify God, qualify Olodumare, because he is so big and you cannot easily understand him. So that's what this book is saying, is comparing Yoruba belief system with Christianity. Okay, so let's continue. Èrò ọkàn àwọn Yorùbá ni pé Ọlọ́run tàbí Olódùmarè. We call God Olorun and we call him Olodumare. And that's exactly this book is talking about. Èrò ọkàn àwọn Yorùbá ni pé Ọlọ́run tàbí Olódùmarè. So we call him God or we call him Olodumare. Okay? So our thought is that is what èrò ọkàn àwọn Yorùbá ni pé. So our thought and as Yorubas is that we believe that God, tàbí Ọlọ́run or Olódùmarè, tóbi púpọ̀. I've said that, but this book is still explaining further that we believe that God is so big, tóbi púpọ̀, ó sì ju ẹnikẹ́ni lọ, àti nítorí èyí kò yẹ kí wọ́n máa dárúkọ mọ́ ọ lórí bí àwọn tí ń sí ẹgbẹ́ àti ọgbà wọn. We say that we should not be calling God's name anyhow. We should just respect him, and that is when you say Oba means king. So but we do not say Oba, we say Oba Orun, and that's what this book is saying. We believe that this God is so big, is so powerful, we shouldn't just be calling him anyhow names, and we shouldn't just be disrespecting him with names. Okay, so let me take that again for those of you who understand Yoruba so that you can understand clearly without any interruption. So èrò ọkàn àwọn Yorùbá ni pé Ọlọ́run tàbí Olódùmarè tóbi púpọ̀, ó sì ju ẹnikẹ́ni lọ, àti nítorí èyí kò yẹ kí wọ́n máa dárúkọ mọ́ ọ lórí bí àwọn tí ń ṣe sí ẹgbẹ́ àti ọgbà wọn. So we should not call God's name just the way we call our friends. Just the way you call your friends. Like, if you have a friend, you call him Ajayi, or you call him Bola Tito. You cannot just see God. You cannot just be calling God's name without giving him respect. And the way we show respect to our elders is by calling him boss, or you call him call such a person, boss. So, but as for God, we say Oba, and that's why you see Oba, and we see Atere Kariaye, that is a big. So that's the reason why we look for so many names, so many beautiful names to call our Olodumare. So, láti bọlá fún, that's exactly what I just said. Láti bọlá fún, that is to give him respect, to give him respect. Láti bọlá fún, àti láti fi ìtẹríba wọn fún. Ìtẹríba means to give respect as well. Ọlá means that to make him look big. Let him, call God for him to see himself as a very powerful and almighty being. Okay, so láti bọlá fún àti láti tẹríba fún Okay, we won't fi iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ rẹ̀ pé. So we now use, which this is a very important one. We now use his handwork to call him, You know, we use his hand, his work, you know what he does. We use that to give him names. You know, Atere Kare Aye, Arinurode, Olumoro Ọkàn. That is what, because as I am, I can't tell you that no matter how powerful I am, I cannot be telling you everything you are thinking in your mind. Even our psychologists are just trying their best, but they cannot know what is in our mind more than the way God will know what you have in your mind. You know, so that is why we call God. So we use his handwork. We use what he does to call him names. So láti bọlá fún àti láti fi ìtẹríba wọn hàn fún. So it's to give him respect, and wọ́n fi iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ rẹ̀ pé. So we use what he does, you know, his handwork to call him different names. So wọ́n á ní ẹlẹ́dàá. So we say ẹlẹ́dàá. So that's another, you know, we call him ẹlẹ́dàá. We call him ẹlẹ́dàá. The meaning of ẹlẹ́dàá means the one who created or who create our destiny or our head. Okay, èyí ni ẹni tí ó dá ọ̀run àti ayé. So that is a God who created heaven and earth. Oyigiyigi. So this book is now explaining what I could not explain properly. You know, maybe this book will explain better all those names like Oyigiyigi. Now this book Oyigiyigi, èyí ni ẹni tí ó tóbi tó bẹ́ẹ̀ gẹ́ tí kò sí ohun tí a lè fi wé. You can see the meaning of Oyigiyigi, which I could not explain. This book just explains it. It says èyí ni ẹni tí ó tóbi gẹ́ tí kò sí ohun tí a lè fi wé. That is, God is so big that you cannot compare him with anything. You know, it's incomparable. Okay, ọba àwa márìdí. That is, àwa márìdí. Èyí ni ẹni tí a kò lè rí ìdí iṣẹ́ rẹ̀. You know, I've said that. That is, àwa márìdí. You cannot investigate him. It's a king that you can never investigate. That is the meaning of ọba àwa márìdí. The alábàláṣẹ. Èyí ni ẹni tí ó ní àbá àti àṣẹ. You know, when you say alábàláṣẹ, ẹni tí ó ní àbá àti àṣẹ, that is, you have a thought or you have an opinion. So, and your opinion his opinion prevails all the time. So, like us as humans, you can have an opinion, and of course, you may not be able to execute your opinion. So we say alábàláṣẹ. So he has so many thoughts in his mind, and he will of course carry them out. So and that's why we call him alábàláṣẹ. Èyí ni ẹni tí ó ní àbá àti àṣẹ. Bàbá, then we call him Bàbá. Èyí ni bàbá gbogbo ẹ̀dá inú ayé. So why we call him Bàbá, why we call him Father is that he is the father of all of us. He is the father of all of us. Like now, the Yoruba religion will say Jesus is the Son of God. Of course, all of us are children of God. So God, he is our father. God, he created us. Okay, so we have only one God, and is that be it Christian, Muslim, Yoruba religionist, all of us, we are all children of God. Okay, so that is it. So that's why we call him Baba. Èyí ni Baba gbogbo ẹ̀dá inú ayé. So this is our view in Yoruba land. I'm talking about in the past, because the Yoruba religions now are changing. I won't say they have succeeded. They are changing our, you know, our belief system. Of course, we are bringing them back, and Olodumare will help us and will take us back to our ancestral path. I share. So, èyí ni Baba gbogbo ayé, that is Father. Ọ̀gá ògo. So we call Olodumare Ọ̀gá ògo as well. Èyí ni ẹni tí ó ní ọ̀run. Ọ̀gá ògo, ẹni tí ó ní ọ̀run. He owns heaven. Èyí tí ó tún jẹ́ ògo ẹ̀dá. Èyí tí ó jẹ́ ògo ẹ̀dá. That is, he has power over us. Tàbí nígbà mìíràn a lè túmọ̀ rẹ̀ sí ẹni tí ògo tàbí ìgbéga ẹ̀dá ń bẹ lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀. You know, we call God. We know that no matter what you want to become, whatever you want to become is in his hands. Whatever you want to become is in God's hand. You know, so and that is what this book is saying. That is, whatever your success, your life, your everything about you is in God's hands. So that's exactly what this book is telling you. Then atẹ́rẹrẹ kárí ayé, èyí ni ẹni tí ó tóbi tí ó sì ní gbogbo ayé ní ìkáwọ́. That is, atẹ́rẹrẹ kárí ayé means it's a very big being. It's a big being, and he has everything about both this earth and heaven in his hands. You know, atẹ́rẹrẹ kárí ayé, is everywhere. So atẹ́rẹrẹ kárí ayé yìí ni tí ó tóbi, is very big, tí ó sì ní gbogbo ayé ní ìkáwọ́ rẹ̀. So everything about this world is in his hands. Okay, everything here in ìkáwọ́, gbogbo ayé ní ìkáwọ́ rẹ̀. He has everything in his hands. Okay, Ẹlẹ́mìí, you know, this book is giving us another names that we Yoruba people used to call our God. You know, I'm talking about before the advent of civilization and Christianity. This is our view towards God. Okay, Ẹlẹ́mìí, èyí ni ẹni tí ó ní ẹ̀mí ẹ̀dá. You know, when you say Ẹlẹ́mìí, he's the owner of our life. Okay, he's the owner of our life. You know, so when you say ẹ̀mí is your life, your life, you know, while you are still living is in God's hand. Okay, that is it. So let's continue. Let me check the time if I've exhausted my, okay, still have time. This is 50 minutes. All right. So bí a bá sì tún mọ̀, bí a bá sì tún gbọ́ nígbà mìíràn tí àwọn àgbàlagbà ń lo àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ bíi, you know, when you say àgbàlagbà means elders. So this book is saying that bí a bá sì tún gbọ́, so when you hear when you hear from our elders, whenever you hear from our elders saying this, what is that? Àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ bíi Eduare, that is, whenever you hear our elders, you know, I'm talking about the past, not now. Okay, so Eduare, our elders used to call God Eduare. Tàbí wọ́n lo àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ bíi Olú, that is, whenever they use Olú, which indicates Olodumare. Kan náà ni ìwọ́n tọ́ka sí. So when they say Olú, it means they are referring to God as well. So this book is saying that whenever you hear our elders saying Eduare, or they use the word Olu, so they as we're talking about God, which is Olodumare. That's exactly what the book is saying. So Olodumare kan náà ni ìwọ́n tọ́ka sí. So they are referring to the same Olodumare. So àwọn àgbàlagbà a máa sọ pé, so this is what àwọn àgbàlagbà, this is our elders used to say. Our elders used to say, àṣegbé ọmọ Èdùàrè. Mo ló dàṣegbé, àṣegbé ọmọ Èdùàrè. You know, that is part of the incantation that our ancestors used to chant. You know, àṣegbé ọmọ Èdùàrè, àṣegbé ọmọ Èdùàrè. Mo ló dàṣegbé, àṣegbé ọmọ Èdùàrè. You know, we are saying ọmọ Èdùàrè, that is ọmọ Adarihun. That is we are children of Èdùàrè, of God. So that is it. So ohun tí àkọlé yìí tọ́ka sí ni pé, so this is exactly what I just said is talking about. Ohun tí àkọlé yìí ń tọ́ka sí, ohun tí àkọlé, this is what I just read now, ni pé ohun tí ọmọ Èdùàrè, èyí tí ó dúró fún Olódùmarè bá ti ṣe àṣegbé. You know, èyí tí ó dúró fún Olódùmarè bá ti ṣe so àṣegbé ọmọ Èdùàrè, the meaning is this: àṣegbé ọmọ Èdùàrè, that is that whatever God does, you know, nobody can challenge him. That is the meaning. Àṣegbé ọmọ Èdùàrè, àṣegbé ọmọ Èdùàrè. Then mo ló dàṣegbé, that is whatever Olódùmarè does is nobody can challenge him. Okay, ìgbà gbogbo là ń gbọ́ tí àwọn àgbàlagbà máa ń sọ pé ẹni Olúwa dá kò ṣeé farawé. Of course, it's part of what our elders used to say. Ẹni Olúwa dá kò ṣeé farawé. So ohun tí wọ́n ń tọ́ka sí, that is, let me tell you the meaning of what ẹni Olúwa dá kò ṣeé farawé means. That whatever we that God created are incomparable. Like we creation of God, we are incomparable, and that is exactly what ẹni Olúwa dá kò ṣeé farawé. You understand? That is, whoever God has blessed, no man can cause. Okay, ohun tí wọ́n ń tọ́ka sí nínú gbólóhùn yìí ni pé ẹni tí olú, that is olú God, that whoever God has created, èyí tó dúró fún Olódùmarè bá a ti dá àyànmọ́ kan mọ́ ẹnìkan, a kò lè farawé irú ènìyàn bẹ́ẹ̀. You can see, so you have your destiny. What this book is telling you that ẹni Olúwa dá kò ṣe farawé. You cannot like now, when you see your friend doing fine, and you are not looking at him, that what is he doing differently that you cannot do? So do not follow someone's destiny. That's exactly what this book is telling you, that God created him and he had created his destiny. So you cannot compare yourself with such a person. So that is the meaning of ẹni Olúwa dá kò ṣe farawé. So don't compare yourself with anybody, So because such a person has his own destiny created by God, by Olodumare, solely for that person. Okay, so you cannot compare yourself with such a person. You have your own destiny, you have your own way, you have your own unique, you have your own strengths. You have your own strength, then you have your own talents. That is the simple explanation. Your own talent. So you cannot, nobody can compete with you, then you cannot compete with anybody. And that is exactly what our elders used to say, that ẹni Ọlọ́run dá kò ṣe é farawé. Okay, so àwọn Yorùbá sì máa ń pòwe. Then we Yorùbás used to say an adage. We used to say an adage nígbà mìíràn pé sometimes that ohun tí ọlọ́fin ayé bá wí náà ni ọlọ́fin òde ọ̀run gbà. You can see. So this book is saying that ọlọ́fin Olódùmarè kan náà ni wọ́n ń pè ní ọlọ́fin. You can see a guy that said you cannot call God of course ọlọ́fin. We call ọlọ́fin Olódùmarè as well. We call we say ọlọ́fin. So it's like Oba. We call God Oba. Likewise, we have Oba that we call King, Oba Aye. So even our kings, some of our kings in Yoruba land will say they are representative of God. So they are not the Oba, is God that is Oba, but we are representing him. Because Oba means Oba lórí ohun gbogbo. It means that the king that we have on earth, they have power over everything on earth, but they are representing God. So those kings as well, some of them will say, we are not the king, it's Olodumare that is the king. We are only representing him on earth. Okay, so that is the explanation. So in Yoruba land, we believe that àwọn Yorùbá sì máa ń pòwe nígbà mìíràn pé ohun tí ọlọ́fin ayé bá wí náà ni ọlọ́fin òde ọ̀run gbà. So whatever God says on earth, says here is exactly what will happen in heaven. Okay, that's exactly what that is saying. So Olodumare kan náà ni wọ́n pè ní ọlọ́fin, and this book is just telling you that Olodumare is as well ọlọ́fin. Ọlọ́fin ni orúkọ tí à ń fún àwòrò tó kọ́kọ́ jọba ní Ilé Ifẹ̀. Of course, we are mimicking, and I've already explained that some of our kings will say that they are only representing God, even though you are calling them a name that is pretty much like God's name. Some of them will tell you that I am not the king, I am representing God. Of course, you are only calling me a king because I'm here with you, but the king is in heaven. Okay, so that is exactly what we are saying, that Ọlọ́fin ni orúkọ tí a fún àwòrò tí ó kọ́kọ́ jẹ ní Ilé Ifẹ̀. So the first àwòrò in Ilé Ifẹ̀ is Ọlọ́fin. Of course, I said that to you that some of our elders, Yoruba and our kings and our leaders, some of them bear names or have a title that is almost similar to God's name. Okay, such as this Olofin. So we say Olofin ni orúkọ tí a fún àwòrò tó kọ́kọ́ jọba ní Ilé Ifẹ̀. So the first àwòrò that first became king in Ilé Ifẹ̀ is title. The title that was given to him is Olofin, and that's exactly what this book is saying. So lẹ́yìn rẹ̀ ni àwọn tí à ń pè ní Ọọ̀ni bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí jọba. You can see this. It's good to read. It's good to do your research. So the first àwòrò, the first àwòrò, the first custodian of our ancient deities and whatever, is the first title that was given was Olofin. Then after that, we began to have Oni. That's exactly what this book is telling you. So lẹ́yìn rẹ̀ ni àwọn tí à ń pè ní Ọọ̀ni bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í jọba. This is just explaining further. It's just a deviation. It's not the main topic, but it's just explaining to you that Olofin was the name given to the first king in Ile-Ife. That is the first Ìwòrò tó kọ́kọ́ jọba ní Ile-Ife. Then àwọn Yorùbá gbàgbọ́ pé then later we began to have Ọọ̀ni bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní jọba. So àwọn Yorùbá gbàgbọ́ pé òun nìkan lẹni tó lè ṣojú àwọn. So we believe that only God, only Olodumare can represent us. That is exactly what that is saying. We believe as Yorubas, we believe that only God can represent us. Kí ó sì bá Olodumare sọ̀rọ̀. So okay, now let me take that again. Àwọn Yorùbá gbàgbọ́ pé òun nìkan, that is the Olofin. Okay, now you can see the reason why Olofin is linked to this topic. That is, we believe in Yoruba land, in Ile-Ife, the first Olofin. Why we call him Olofin is because we believe he is the one who can represent us in front of Olodumare. Okay, and I've already explained that our kings that we call Oba, they are representative of Olodumare on earth, and I've already explained that to you that Oba, the meaning of Oba is Oba to ba lórí ohun gbogbo. That is, he has power over everything. And some of our king will tell you that I am not the king is in heaven, we are only representing him. So the same way, the Olofin that the name that was given, the title that was given the first king in Ile-Ife, which is Olofin, before we started to have Oni. So why we gave him the word Olofin is because we believe that he is the one who can represent us in front of Olodumare. So that's exactly what this means. Àwọn Yorùbá gbàgbọ́ pé òun nìkan lẹni tó lè ṣojú wọn, kí ó sì bá Olodumare sọ̀rọ̀. Okay, so Olofin lágbára àti iṣẹ́ lórí àwọn ènìyàn rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí Olodumare ti ní agbára àti àṣẹ lórí ẹ̀dá ayé àti ọ̀run. You can see this book is explaining that to you that Olofin, that is Olofin that we had in Ile-Ife that time, had power and had authority over Yoruba people as at that time. So Olofin lágbára àti àṣẹ lórí àwọn ènìyàn rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí Olodumare ti ní agbára àti àṣẹ lórí ẹ̀dá ayé àti ọ̀run. I've already explained that. So our kings that we have here on earth, they have power over us. They have authority. They have power over us. But God, Olodumare, has power in heaven. Of course, and I told you that some of our kings some of our kings will say that God is a king, right? We are only representing him. So God has power on earth and he has power in heaven. So, but he made us, he made our kings to represent him. So our kings are the ones who are representing him. Then our orishas are the ones representing him spiritually. Our orishas are the ones representing him spiritually. Okay? So, Olofin lágbára àti, okay, I've said that. So Olodumare kan náà làwọn Yorùbá ń pè ní Olofin ọ̀run. You can see, very simple, very straightforward explanation. So we have Olofin on earth, who are the authority over us on earth, like the way we have our kings, okay, the way we have our Obas. So we have Olofin ayé, Olofin ọ̀run, if I think I've heard that stanza before, Olofin ayé, Olofin ọ̀run. So the Olofin ayé is the one who has power over us on earth. Then the one who has power in heaven is Olofin ọ̀run. Ọ̀run means heaven. Olofin ọ̀run. So I think that is well explained. So I'm not going to finish up tonight because it's so very long. In fact, it's even more than, it's up to like how many chapters? So I cannot take it all tonight. So there are more other information that I will share with you concerning Olodumare. So then the next on the list, the next here is Olodumare àti àwọn òrìṣà ilẹ̀ Yoruba. So the correlation between Olodumare and our Orishas is what I will be sharing with you tomorrow. So thank you very much, guys. Let me check your comments if there are questions. If there are questions, I think I'm done for now, but tomorrow I'll continue with it. And where I will continue tomorrow is Olodumare àti àwọn òrìṣà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. So the correlation between Olodumare and the correlation between Olodumare and our Orishas is what I will be sharing with you tomorrow. So the correlation between Olodumare and the relationship, let me say the relationship between God and our Orishas. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. Let me check your comments before I go, because I could not check it live. I'm using a different software, you know. Okay, if you look up Taiwo Iwarere, okay, answer my question then. Who is talking? Let me check your comment before I go, because I could not check live. Does Olodumare have a son called Jesus? Who is talking? We are not followers of Jesus. We are followers of Orunmila. So the concept of Jesus is best known to Israelite, you know. So we are children of, we are followers of Orunmila in Yoruba land. Orunmila is our prophet. Orunmila is our prophet in Yoruba land. So let me continue from where this man stopped. Olodumare. Let me read some comments. Stop saying what you do not know. God is Olodumare. Okay, Olawale. Thank you. If you put them comparatively, they are not the same. You are talking about, does Olodumare have a son? Olodumare. Okay, maybe this Samuel Akiyemi, he is not a follower of Isheshe. This Samuel, I think he's a Christian. He's coming here to distract us. He is not a follower of Isheshe, because he is saying that does Olodumare have a son called Jesus? Jesus has nothing to do with the concept of son of God. You know, is not in Isheshe. Okay, so according to what we believe that we are all children of God. Okay, we are all children of God. So because we call God Baba. Okay, so does Olodumare have a son called Jesus? So Jesus was sent to Israelites. So we have Orunmila as our own prophet. Okay, so Olodumare is Yoruba name that Yoruba calls God. Okay, Olawale months. Okay, so is there Adam and Eve in Oduifa? There is nothing like Adam and Eve. Samuel Akinyemi, there is nothing like Adam and Eve in our concept as Yorubas. So there is nothing like Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, the concept of Adam and Eve is in the Abrahamic religion. Okay, if you go to India now, if you tell them about Adam and Eve, I don't think they have that concept in their own religion. Go to Chinese, Buddhist, go to Hinduism, Buddhism, they don't know anything about Adam and Eve. Okay, likewise, we Yorubas, we do not know anything about Adam and Eve according to our own Yoruba religion. Okay, so Olodumare, please ignore him and continue. Thank you, GNN. Microwave, yes or no distraction, please. Yes, no more distraction. Okay, let me answer my question then. What is he saying? Because if you look up the King James Bible translation in Yoruba, there you will see Olodumare in the Bible. Thank you, Monty Jones. Thank you for that explanation. Yes, that's true, Tisha. Yes, that's true, Tisha. Many written books on Yoruba. Okay. Then Candy Bliss Beauty. Thank you very much for the $10 support. Thank you very much. But God is an English word used to describe. Okay, let me now read this Sami Akiyemi's comment. Taiwo Iwarere, Olodumare means Almighty, Omniscience, Lord God Almighty means Oluwa, Olorun, Olodumare. Thanks. Okay, thank you. So make way somewhere, the invaders learn. Okay, I cannot read all. I cannot read all. So thank you very much. Tomorrow I will continue with from where I stopped. Thank you for showing me love on this channel. I will be going down. So what is an ori? If I have any question, okay, even upon the twisting. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I love you all. So tomorrow same time I will continue from where I stopped. Thank you for showing me love on this channel. Thank you. So I'm going now. Stay